දුර නොදුර කරනා එතෙර මෙතෙර වෙලෙනා උබුදා නැනමනා යුදුම් යන මග විඩා නිවනා
විශ්වය සිසාරා විශ්වවාහිනී.
Welcome to Community Connect program on Vishvavahini TV. Main purpose of this program is to make the community aware of important events which are of significance to the community. And in this episode, we are in conversation with the artistic director, Australian Art Orchestra, Peter Knight, who is instrumental in bringing forward this series of programs called Meeting Point in collaboration with Melbourne Arts Centre. And the second concert of the series of Meeting Point under the title Deities and Demons is to be held on the 8th of December at 5 p.m. at the Pavilion in Melbourne Arts Centre. And the main purpose of this program is to bring together the different rhythms of music across the globe. And to elaborate on the program, we are talking to Mr. Peter Knight. Welcome to the program, Peter.
Thanks for having me.
Peter, first of all, whose brainchild is this Meeting Point series?
The Meeting Point series is my idea, actually.
Right.
And it's been running for around 18 months now.
Right.
And we run about 4 to 5 concerts a year at the Arts Centre.
Right.
And we're supported by the City of Melbourne, which
Right.
is really wonderful. And this concert on the 8th of December, we welcome musicians from Sri Lanka and a group called Balaphonics.
That is the significance to the
Yeah.
expatriate Sri Lankan
Exactly.
community.
Yeah.
So as I understand, they are renowned musicians, Susantha Rupatilaka and Prasanna Rupatilaka, Sumudis Ranavira and another person.
Yeah, Sumati Surawira and another friend of Sumati's from New Zealand,
Right.
Ruben Derrick, who's not Sri
Ruben
Lankan
Derrick, yeah.
at all, but who's spent a lot of time in Sri
And
Lanka.
they're being accompanied with local musicians.
Yeah, accompanied with members of the Australian Art Orchestra.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're a part of that. And what's your role in there?
So I'm the artistic director, and for this concert I'm also playing trumpet. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, as I understand, so the Sri Lankan artists, they will perform the traditional Sri Lankan music, like in traditional Sri Lankan music there are dance forms. There's the upcountry dance form and the low country dance form, and out of these two, Balaphonics is mainly the low country. Is that right?
So Susantha and Prasanna are really from quite a well-known family of
Yes.
low country musicians.
Right.
And Sumati is a drummer who grew up in Colombo, but then as a young boy went to live in New Zealand.
Right.
And he went through secondary school in New Zealand, and then he went on to study jazz drums.
Right.
And then he got really interested in his cultural heritage and started to make a serious study of low country ritual music.
Right.
He did a PhD on low country ritual music and then ended up moving back to Sri Lanka and on a permanent basis because he really wanted to reconnect. And he started a foundation in Sri Lanka that teaches music to kids called Music Matters, which is based in Colombo. And he formed Balaphonics with Susantha and Prasanna, and also had a good connection with their father as well, who's a well-known musician and astrologer.
Right.
And so what Balaphonics do is they bring the low country practice together with jazz and avant-garde music. Right. And so Sumati has an interest in both jazz and kind of Western art music forms and also the traditional Sri Lankan forms. And so that kind of aligns really well with the Australian Art Orchestra. And when I met Sum in Colombo last year, we realised we had
you met them in person in Colombo.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right.
It was a great trip. Very exciting.
Right.
Yeah, wonderful time. And when I met Sung, we realised that we had a very strong musical connection.
Right.
And I actually spent a couple of weeks down in Ambalangoda.
Right.
And studying Sri Lankan drumming with a Sri Lankan-born percussionist, two Sri Lankan-born percussionists, Ray Pereira, who lives here in Melbourne,
Right.
and Professor Bandara.
Professor Bandara, I've heard about him.
Yeah, when we spent 2 weeks studying percussion and learning a bit about the culture, and I was honoured to be able to attend a harvest ritual just outside of Ambalangoda, an all-night ritual, and that was an amazing experience which I'll never forget. And I felt very inspired by this, and then I met somebody and we started talking about his group, Balaphonics, and I thought, wow, that's an amazing kind of thing, and it's an amazing coincidence, and from there we kept the conversation going.
Actually, this is a great opportunity for all the expatriate Sri Lankans in Melbourne to witness this, because, as I understand, see, it's sort of mixed with the Western style and the traditional style in Sri Lanka.
Yeah, so what Balaphonics have done together as a group is they've created a condensed version of the Bali ritual.
Right.
Which is a ritual that does invoke deities and demons, apparently.
Yes.
And so that's where the name comes from too, of
yes.
Deities and Demons. And so they've created this really interesting piece which condenses that ritual and includes elements of the dance. So Susatha and Prasanna are both wonderful dancers, and the song, the drumming, and then they kind of expand those ideas with the drum kit and with the bass clarinet, and then we're going to keep expanding them further.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the local artists taking part in this?
Oh yeah, the musicians from Australia.
Yes.
So there's myself playing trumpet, and there's another young man who plays trumpet for the art orchestra, Ruben Lewis.
Right.
He's also playing trumpet and doing electronics.
Right.
And then we have a wonderful cellist from Sydney, Mary Rapp, and we have a guitarist from Sydney, Carl Dewhurst. And so it's an unusual ensemble, but I think it's going to be a really exciting mix of instruments and different approaches.
So that's what we can expect when you come there, right?
Yeah.
It's a entirely different experience.
It's a different experience, but I think for the Sri Lankan community, they will get to hear these two extraordinary Sri Lankan talents, Susatha and Prasanna, and they play and sing from traditional forms.
Right.
And then we bring what we do around that. But will get to hear traditional music performed at a very high level.
As a musician, what do you think about the drumming rhythms of the low country music?
I think it's mind-blowing, to be honest. I think it's the most extraordinary musical tradition. And when I went to that harvest ritual, there was like 6 drummers, and the intensity and energy and accuracy and rhythmic complexity was just amazing, really. And we don't get to hear that much in Australia. We hear a lot of music from different parts of the world, but Sri Lanka is not. Sri Lanka
so
music
is it difficult to intermingle with the Western,
yes.
The rhythmic cycles and so on?
Yes, it's difficult.
But
we have to work hard.
We have
to work hard to keep up. That's for sure. It's difficult. It's difficult music. It's complex music, and it does require preparation. But also these guys are really great collaborators. So they're very open-minded,
right.
And they don't expect us to play like Sri Lankan musicians.
Right.
They expect us to bring our traditions as well,
right.
And so we can bring them together. But yeah, it's challenging for sure. Yeah.
Now you've been to Sri Lanka and you've spoken with them and you brought these things together. So we are going to expect an extraordinary experience out of this
Yeah.
concert.
Yes.
So my request to all our expatriate Sri Lankans are to come and enjoy the evening. That's on the 8th at 5 p.m.
Yes.
on the Pavilion
Yep.
Art Centre,
In
right?
the art centre, yeah. It's just upstairs. You go in through the front door, and you go upstairs, and it's a nice room. It's not too formal, and I think it'd be really wonderful to have for the guys coming from Colombo to have the support of the local community. And they'd love
Absolutely.
that.
And how does one get tickets? Or is it online or?
You can get tickets through the Art Centre website, or you can go to the Australian Art Orchestra website, which is aao.com.au.
aao.com.au.
Yeah.
So you can book tickets there.
You can book tickets there, and there will be some tickets at the door as well.
Right.
Yeah.
So they'll be selling tickets at the door too.
Yeah, unless it sells out. I recommend going online to the website and buying tickets through the website. But there may be some tickets at the doors.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So is there anything that you want to add on this particular performance on the
Well,
8th?
it's just to say that it's a real pleasure to have the chance to speak to you, and through you to the community, to the Sri Lankan community, and it's an amazing culture, and we're really deeply honoured to get a chance to also share and to collaborate.
Also, it's a great place to visit. I mean, that's the iconic Melbourne Arts Centre.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah.
that's an experience itself. Because
Yeah, the Art Centre is great. Yeah.
so we have had one concert there with the Sri Lankan, some of the prominent singers there some time ago. But it's a good opportunity to go to the Art Centre and get this extraordinary experience from the concert.
Yeah, I think the nice thing about the Art Centre is that we think of it as this big, kind of quite imposing place, but actually it's quite a friendly place and quite intimate. And the people who work there are really welcoming,
Right.
and I think it's a good place for this music actually.
Okay, Peter, so thank you very much for this, elaboration on this particular concert. I'm sure a lot of our Sri Lankans will be interested in coming and witnessing, our own tradition intermingled with the Western style of music and how they, fuse together.
Yeah, we find it exciting, the idea of for the Meeting Point series of creating something new from different influences coming together.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, Peter, thank you for
Thank you.
giving us this opportunity to talk to you.
Yeah.
And let's hope all the Sri Lankan expatriate Sri Lankans will take this opportunity.
Hope so too.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Vishwaya Sisara Vishvavahini